Hey guys, Nick here with the Best Buy blog. You just heard the VX15GT, a small 15-watt modeling amp by Vox. This amp has a 6.5-inch speaker, and by modeling we mean that this amplifier emulates really famous amps for their sounds. You get 11 different models. Well, Vox says 11, but it's more like 10, and I'll tell you why later. There's two effects sections. You get a modulation section and a space and time section. These are more like your reverbs and delays. On the amplifier there's a built-in tuner, and there's an auxiliary in jack, so you can plug in your laptop, MP3 player, mobile, CD player, anything you use to play your favorite songs. Once you plug it in, the amp is gonna amplify that and you'll be able to jam along using the amp and listen to your song. Really fun for practice. There's a foot switch jack right here, and Vox suggests it's VFS2 or VFS5 foot switches so that you can recall user-stored presets from the amp. Really handy, especially if you're playing songs that have, wildly different tones. Last but not least, there's a headphone jack, and this is really interesting because it has a cab simulated sound. Which means that once you put headphones on, you'll really get the response and the feel of playing through a cab, but using your headphones totally silently. This is really handy for recording also. If you plug it in into your interface, you'll have that same cab simulation, meaning the same response and type of sound you get, emulating the sound of a microphone. That's how I recorded Purple Rain at the beginning of the video. But now I'm going to show you some more sounds using a traditional approach with a microphone. So the samples you just heard were quite different from each other. I used the Boutique Clean, the Brit 1959, and the double rack amplifiers, and with the gain and treble and bass knobs, it was really easy to dial in the sound I was imagining. There's a volume knob, but there's also a power level knob. This amp is 15 watts, but you can go down to 7.5 watts or even lower. This is really handy to tailor the volume to your playing environment. Throughout the samples you've heard, I used a lot of the effects. You can only use one modulation effect at a time, and I mostly use the chorus. You can also only use one delay or reverb at a time, and I used both delays on the samples and both reverbs. These effects are really easy to dial in because you actually have only one setting or one parameter. You can only add or reduce the amount of effect. These effects are pre-dialed in, so you don't have access to any kind of parameters of these effects. If you're really looking to tweak some knobs, I recommend you look at some different outboard pieces of gear to handle those effects. But that being said, not having access to all these parameters is actually quite handy because you don't get that options paralysis and you kind of focus on working with what you have. That being said, there's a really handy tap tempo knob for the delays so you can sync your delay to the rhythm of the song you're playing. Earlier, I was explaining that this amp, although Vox says it has 11 models, well, I kind of think there's only 10. This is because the 11th option on the model knob, well, it's just a line. This means that it's expecting to receive, let's say, an acoustic instrument like an acoustic guitar, mandolin, and banjo, anything. It's anything that is not electric and that expects to be preamplified with a certain type of tone. So this is really handy for recording these types of instruments or just practicing. To demonstrate what I mean, I recorded a sample with my acoustic guitar. I really enjoyed using the Vox VX15GT. It sounds great, it's really easy to set up, and the variety of tones that it covers is awesome. The effects section is great, it really gives you access to really important tones for guitarists, and the added features are really handy. I'm talking about the foot switch jack to recall your user-stored presets, talking about the auxiliary in to jam along to your favorite recordings, and especially the headphone out with the simulated cab sound. I have to say though that the tuner is really underwhelming. It only enables you to tune to E, so in standard tuning your 6th or 1st string, from which you have to tune the rest of the guitar using your ear. Well, this is kind of limited, and really you have to be tuning to standard, or at least tuning that has an E in your in the strings. So that's really limiting, and I wish this amplifier had a full chromatic tuner on board. Well, that being said, if you're looking for a first amplifier or you're looking to upgrade your existing amplifier, this is a really affordable choice, and thanks to its modern features, it is a great choice. If you're interested in learning more about this amplifier, please go read my full review on Best Buy's blog. My name is Nick. Thank you so much for watching.